if you get into the RoboCop suit for one day, what would you do?
I had a really mean teacher when I was in second grade, so I think I'd go to my old school and I'd scare the shit out of her.
Zeit, ihn aufzuwecken. Machen Sie ihn aggressiver. Sagen wir in Schwarz.
RoboCop versus the Terminator. Who would kick ass and why?
I think RoboCop would take out Terminator.
Why?
Because he just has emotional intelligence.
Where do you think is the difference between your RoboCop and the original one?
Well, one of the big differences is that in our version, Alex Murphy doesn't die. So when he wakes up and he's RoboCop, he's fully aware of who he is and what he has become. Mm-hmm. And his initial reaction is that he wants to die. He doesn't. This is not a life that he wants to live. So the drama has a completely different arc, and he also gets. He becomes more like the original RoboCop when they shut off the last thing that he has that makes him himself, and that's his emotions. Yeah. When they shut off his emotions, he is pretty much a machine.
Irgendwie umgeht er die Programmierung des Systems.
Der Faktor Mensch wird stets gegenwärtig sein. Mitgefühl, Furcht, Instinkt werden immer in das System eingreifen.
You're famous for playing good and bad guys, but your character in RoboCop is kind of between. Can you explain that? Like, is he a good guy or is he bad?
What do you think he is?
I think I don't know what he is, because he's on the one hand he's tried to do good, to help people, and then on the other hand he shuts down emotions and stuff. So, what do you say?
Well, it's ambiguous, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's in the grey. He's a good guy who finds himself in a situation and is pressurized to doing a bad thing. He really has a gun to his head. So he's essentially a good guy who is a very difficult situation. He's forced to get a product out onto the street before it's ready.
Gib deiner Mom einen Kuss.
Gute Nacht, Baby.
Zu langsam, Kleiner.
If you had to decide in real life if one of your loved ones has to be in a RoboCop suit, how would you decide?
Well, I'm not sure. I mean, it's a really tough topic of conversation, because I've known people who've had loved ones on life support and have had to make decisions. And I grew up with a girl across the road who was run over and was on life support, and her parents had to make decisions during that. So I mean, this is like a really deep, thing we're talking about here. And I don't think until you're in that situations you really. I don't think you really would know what you would do.
RoboCop is being PG-13, which is quite unusual because the original was rated R, so for adults. How does that fit? Because a lot of our community members think it's going to be a problem.
Yeah, well, if it wasn't PG-13, it was going to be a problem for whomever was under 13 to see the movie. Truly, I mean, the idea that violence in a movie, it's a value in itself. You have to put violence into your movie because this other movie has violence in it. Just doesn't make sense to me. I mean, I'm making a movie. I'm not trying to repeat the original film. I'm making a different movie. I think you saw it.
Yeah.
And so, if the movie that I'm making requires violence, if its internal logic demands violence, then it's going to be violent. But if the internal logic, if what I'm talking about doesn't require violence, then why would I put violence into it? The same thing goes for sex. And so I just don't, I don't buy into this whole PG-13, R-rated thing. A movie is a movie. It's good or bad on its own terms, not on the terms of, outside of it. Oh, you gotta make it R. Have you read the screenplay? No, but you still have to make it R. You know what I mean? That doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
What's your shirt say?
Jesus, guys, doesn't it bug you? Like thousands of people wants to be like Paris Hilton. And nobody wants to be Spider-Man. A friend of mine made it for me. She's from America too.
That's amazing. Oh my gosh. It's a cute shirt. Like, I like the way she made it.
You had to put on a very heavy suit, didn't you? Like,
Yeah, it weighed like 40 pounds, and it was quite taxing. First week that I wore it, we shot in Toronto. It was in the middle of the summer, and I lost 7 kilos in water because I was sweating so much. So I realized, like, this is a perfect thing for a fighter that's cutting weight before a fight. They should just wear the RoboCop suit for a week, and they'll be good.
If there is a RoboCop 2 or a TV series like it was in the 90s, would you do that? Like all the time wearing the costume again?
No, I don't think I'd do.
What do you think about robo actors?
Robo actors?
Yeah.
Are there any?
No, but
I mean, I've
future.
worked with a few, but no robo actors.
In your other movies, like in your last movie, you had a lot of more action scenes where you actually get to do a lot of running around and stuff. Did you miss that?
I did, and but I did really love the role that I played in the film, and you know, it is a guy's film. It is about, you know, it is about technology. It is about robots. It is about action. It is about, you know, I mean, it's RoboCop.
Bekämpft, was wir ihm angetan haben. Schaltet ihn ab!